Evening. Welcome
Evening.
to the preview and kind of the quick review of last week's, because we haven't actually managed to do it, but we're going to do a quick one tonight. How are you, Canners?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm still. Can we say basking? I'm still basking in the win that was on Sunday. I'm still on that cloud. So
Yeah.
I'm good. How you doing, Bobby, man?
Yeah, the first half was stressful, which is what I think we all expected, but the second half was just easier for us. Weirdly, because we've always started well, and then the second half tends to be more stressful.
We switched around, didn't we?
But we switched it, and I don't mind that because apart from the last 10 minutes, I was like, oh, come on, just please.
I know.
Finish it, blow the whistle.
I was looking at the clock in the stadium so many times. I was thinking, how's it only moved a minute? Flip sake. I was like, trying.
Yeah.
But I said, didn't I, in our preview that I'd take I like a 3-2. But not that kind of 3-2, And I said that on the street, not on 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, and then. No, that wasn't good for my heart inside that stadium.
No, it wasn't good for me. Didn't enjoy doing the watch along. I got very stressed. Yeah, it just wasn't fun. But this is the preview for the Thursday game, Bodo against Arsenal. Before we talk about the one coming up, we'll talk about the one that's happened. So, Obviously, it was Arsenal 3, Bodo 0, Eddie Holding, or if you're Tony, Holdini, and Fabio Vieira with the goals. But this is the important thing. That wasn't as easy as it seemed, really. I watched the game. I did the watch along. It wasn't as easy as we would have liked, I don't think. What do you reckon?
No, I agree. I think maybe going 2-0 up probably put us into that false sense of security somewhat.
Yeah.
I think that maybe had something to do with it. And I'd like to say we managed the game, but I know it was still a bit hairy sometimes. But ultimately, we got the job done and we won 3-0. But it was nice to kind of see the other players getting a run out and get some minutes in their legs. But you're right. It was a little bit kind of like we played in kind of. It's like we started off great. Then we kind of sat back and kind of like went in to ourselves a little bit, and then we made the subs. Arteta made the subs, and boom, we was the result was in no doubt after that.
Yeah. So this is the stats kind of back up what we're both saying. It wasn't as easy as we expected. They had the most possession, which is crazy, but it's more to do with the way that Bodo play as well. They play from the back, so their goalkeeper comes back, their defenders.
They didn't deviate from that, did they?
No, Knutson hasn't done that. It hasn't changed for about 2 years. So that's the way Bodo play.
He didn't give it down. It was working or not, no matter what, the players just kept doing it and trying to play. I mean, I don't know if it's admirable or stupid, but hey, no. Good on them for keeping to their to their their standards and their morals.
Yeah, they definitely worried me a few times that I can remember. Anyway, I was very surprised that Solbakken, who is one of their main threats, didn't start. He came on late in the second half. So if he starts against us, I'll be more worried because he is someone to watch out for. He's one of their big threats.
It'll be a totally different game, won't it? I think.
Well, obviously the pitch as well. Pitch is going to be a big problem. I'm just going to get into a comment because Colmes decided to pop in. Lovely Man United fan. Are we saying Arsenal are going to win the league yet? And are Arsenal favourites to win this cup?
Oh, is that? You want me to answer that? Oh God.
Go on. I'm gonna think about it. I'll let you.
I will say no, and dependent on what teams drop from the Champions League. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with no with the first part, and then the second part depends if we're actually in a title challenge at the end of the season, because then I think he'll prioritise the league over the Europa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we're all going to want the league. Let's be honest. The Europa is only important to us if we're not going to win the Champions League. or qualify for the Champions League.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
I've got you.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of frustrated me at the start of the season, right? And it kind of like I was a bit disappointed with it in some of the fans' kind of ambition, where they were saying that they would take 6th place and us to win the Europa League. Things like that. I to me, that doesn't make any sense.
That's not progression to me.
No, exactly. And now, you know, I think maybe those fans were scared that, or just didn't fancy our chances of getting top 4. But I don't know, maybe that was it. You know, some fans were saying, you know, we'll take a trophy, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. You know, I take that and win the Champions League. But nah, it's all about making the top 4 at the very least. And yes, if you do have a good cup run, I think after that, you know, it's a bonus, right? The cups are a bonus. I would say, except for the Champions League. That's a kind of, you know, the Premier League and the Champions League are your targets, you know, if you're in that and for what you want to win. But the league is the bread and butter, man. And if you're coming 6th and, okay, having a good cup run, that to me is not progression. And to see what we're doing now, do you know what? Top 4 right now is a minimum. Yeah, because I think I think we're gonna have to shift our expectations of you know what we're doing, and it would be nice to have a good cut run. But I totally agree with you with what you're saying, is that if we're in and amongst it come March, then Arteta's got to make a decision.
Yeah. But Cole's saying there that we are 9-2 to win the Europa League. Doesn't surprise me that we're low odds, but he's also put a cheeky 10 on it. So he's chosen Arsenal over his own club.
Do you know why he's done that? Because he says, you know what, I never win bets, and you know what, I don't want Arsenal to win. So if I put money on them, they won't win. So I reckon that's what he's going on with that one. A bit of kind of like, you know, psychology there is going on. So he said, I'll take a tenner for Arsenal not to win it.
Yeah. Well, because for me, if we don't qualify for Champions League through the league now, it would be a massive, massive, massive blow. Not just because of what we were expecting before the season, but how we've started the season now as well.
Yeah.
For us to finish like we're first now, and then we suddenly drop to 5th by the end of the season.
Do you know what? I think. Look, I know this is the Bodo preview, but just a quick one on us in the league and, you know, future transfer windows. I just feel that you know we're too.
Sorry, I was giggling when I read it. I thought I better put this up.
Someone really loves throwing their money away, don't they? Flip's sake. Cheers, Tony. You gotta love the silver one, didn't you?
I know.
What was I saying? So he's just totally thrown me off there. What I was going to say.
He threw me off when he put the comment. I was like, "What?"
Oh, flip's sake! Ah, dear. He's thrown me there. It'll come back.
I'll get into Cole's next comment. I'm totally not trying to cheat us. We've worked you out.
Oh, so I've got it back. So I'm talking about Arteta and his transfer windows. I think I honestly feel 100% will strengthen in January.
Yeah,
I think we will. Because when you asked me to pick my team this evening, I said to myself, we are so light in the centre of midfield. I was thinking, Xhaka needs a break. Partey can't play. He has to play at the weekend against Leeds.
Yeah.
But Xhaka needs a break.
Yeah.
He really does. And then also as well, I thought about it. Oh, centre back as well. Gabriel needs a break as well. And I feel that it wouldn't surprise me actually if we do get another centre back. Because I think that is one of the areas we can improve on in terms of a squad player, but definitely centre midfield. I feel now that looking at it, and I was struggling to think who's going to play in the centre with Lokonga. Xhaka needs a break. Has he played every minute so far? Practically every minute so far.
Pretty much, yeah. Because
Yeah,
he hasn't actually managed to get a red card yet, which is amazing.
No, by now, yeah, he would have had his customary kind of like little break, little holiday somewhere, one with a training or something. But yeah, he needs to break. The same thing with Gabriel as well. Fair enough, I know that he's flying, and okay, a lot of people saying that he's making mistakes, or whatever, but he needs to have a break. He really does. And those two positions, I'm really struggling to see who would come in, and I'll explain my my lineup. With
I'll have more explaining on my lineup than anyone else's. Trust me. Tony saying that I'll be laughing if it happens with his bet.
Same here.
Sure
I'll be laughing too.
Before we get into the teams, we need to talk about the pitch, because obviously that's a big problem. Because obviously, unless you are unaware that they all play on these 3G pits, they're not very nice. I didn't like training on when I was young. They're horrible. So a lot of people are saying that the ones that tend to get injuries are the ones we need to rest the most, because this pitch it brings out those type of injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is this why you've gone? I can't remember if you totally changed your lineup or not. I know I have. I've totally changed.
Yeah, I think I made 10 changes actually. I think that
okay.
I think I did.
Tony's saying, and it's a very good point, that doesn't help that on any, because I would put a Lokonga in midfield, because I think that is where he is probably going to be best at in future. Is the midfield.
Elneny would definitely would definitely be playing.
And DSR definitely would give Martinelli a break as well. But yeah, so we're going to go into your team then first, so I can find yours. So we've got Turner in goal, Cedric, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Holding, Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson Marquinhos, and Eddie.
Yeah.
Is that yours? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Cedric hasn't got any minutes this season. He has to get some. He needs to play, because White, Saliba, and Gabriel, they need a break. Tomiyasu needs minutes. Tierney needs minutes. Holding obviously needs. I think. Yeah, I know there's probably a little bit of disjointment between the four there, but for me, I think that would be obviously including the keeper as well. They need to play. Certain players need to be rested. I think the only caveat with Tomiyasu and Tierney would be the fitness of Zinchenko. How much they'll play. But Xhaka has to play. Partey can't play. Not on that pitch anyway. And then the rest pretty much for me is self-explanatory. We need Vieira to start playing. Nelson, he's come back, in the last week. Be good for him to get some more minutes. Marquinhos as well, and Nketiah. So to me, I'll be kind of shocked if the team is very much different to that.
Yeah. I'm going to go into the two people. I don't actually know their names. They're in our WhatsApp group, but I don't know their names. So I've apologized for behalf, because I've put AC of photography. I don't know who he is.
Okay, that's Brezzy.
I know it. Okay, that's Brezzy. Right. Thank you very much. I was glad you're here, Kenneth, because you know who they actually are. I've just, because it was such short notice, I just typed in their actual names, so we know who they are. So AC photography's gone for Turner, Tomiyasu, Tierney, White, Gabriel, Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson Marquinhos, and Eddie. So he's gone for the same front three. The same midfield, but defensive. That is
White and Gabriel. I think those two need a break, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's in what the reason I've asked everyone is interesting to see how many people have changed different players. So we all see it very differently, and that's what I love about football. We all see it differently, and no one's right, no one's wrong, and that's what I like about it. And this is the next one. G, I don't know who he is again.
That's G Talks.
Is that G? I had a feeling it was him, but I wasn't sure.
Bless, big up G Talks. They also do their chat, Canon Chatter. Great content. Absolutely great content as well.
Thank you, Kenneth. Yeah, sorry, I don't know everyone, so I'm still learning everyone's
No,
names.
it's all
So,
good. It's all good.
G's gone with Turner, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Gabriel Holding. So very similar to, is that last week's backline?
Yeah, pretty much.
Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Marquinhos, and Kedia up front. I asked a couple of my Arsenal friends to do ones. So Luke's gone with Cole Hine, Ben White at right back.
No, Turner,
you wait till you see mine, mate. If you're shocked with just that one, you wait till you see mine. No, but he's gone for Ben White, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Holding. Now the reason I'm gonna stick up for Hine here. Hine's very good with his feet.
Okay.
He went to Reading last season and did very well at Reading, kept him up. So he has, and I think he's about 20, 21, so he's young. He's worth a shot for me because he is good with his feet. So,
do you think the signing? I mean, Leno kind of alluded to it a bit. Do you think, because Turner's not great with his feet, is he? He's not comfortable. Do you think that was a political signing? That was a club kind of like.
Yeah. For me, what Leno said was 95% true.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, but it is, unfortunately, that's football.
Because I'm looking at him, I thought he would have been great with his feet, but he's not. He's probably worse. He's no better. He's no better than Leno with his feet.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Well, everyone's saying hopefully he improves, but I don't think you can teach that to a goalkeeper. To be honest, I just don't think you can. Kind of stuck in their ways.
No, they are. Keepers are a different breed of character when it comes to a football pitch. Seriously, they're totally different.
Yeah. But so Luke's gone for White, Tomiyasu, Saliba, and Holding at the back, which is interesting. Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Marquinhos, Eddie up front. Big up to Moss, who was tunes in when he can. Turner, Tommy, Tierney, Saliba, Holding again. Lokonga, Xhaka, Odegaard. He always picks Odegaard. He'll never drop him, no matter what. Nelson, Fabio Vieira, and Eddie. So he's going for Fabio on the wing. So that's slightly different. I quite like that, actually, personally. But I still would give Odegaard a rest. I know he's back in his home country.
Oh, no, absolutely. There's certain players that cannot play this week.
Yeah. Excuse me. Brenny. That's how it comes up in the chats, is Brenny.
It's Brendan. Yeah.
So he's gone for Turner, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Gabriel Holding, Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Marquinhos, and Eddie again. So everyone's changing a little bit, and we'll go. I'll leave mine till last because mine's going to take some explaining. Gumza, big up to Gumza. Turner, Tomiyasu.
Saliba Gumza, why? Jeez. Saliba cannot play. He's that important.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I've left him out for definite. Saliba Holding. I think Saliba Holding. I'm not sure if those two will work together. That's my only concern. I don't think they ever will because they're very similar. Not similar in quality. Just the way that they play. Just the way that they play. They both come out, and I think that could just be quite dangerous. Yeah. But he's gone for Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Marquinhos, and Eddie.
Yeah, we agree from Lokonga down, I think, me and Gumza.
Yeah. And Tony.
Martinelli definitely can't play. This is the kind
he went for Martinelli.
Hamstring.
Yeah, but again, he chose Saliba as well. I'm just going to go into the comments before I go into mine, just because I've noticed that
we need a drum roll for it, do we?
Yeah, well, yeah, unfortunately. Hopefully Partey is left at home covered in cotton wool. Yeah,
absolutely.
Turner, Moss will always protect Matt Turner. Big up to you for protecting him. I think he's a very good shot stopper. I'm just worried about his.
Is he saying that he's safe hands?
Yeah. Yeah, I get he does start for USA, but without being horrible to the USA, it is the USA.
So did Nick Pope, and flipping it. He started for England. Look how die he is.
Yeah, Man City. He's talking about the Copenhagen game back in Norge. Yeah, I could see him wanting to start, and he'd probably get like 10 minutes at the end. I'm hoping. Want to see Holding and Saliba play together. Well, at least he put Holding and not Holdini. That's good.
Yeah.
I want to see a Saliba holding or a White Saliba defense duo. I know you. I know you. Yeah, he's Canadian, so he's definitely gonna. He's not a US supporter, but
back in Turner. Wow. Okay, that's a
all right.
statement.
So this is
Let's
mine.
get to
it. So we've got Cole Hiding goal.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. I love the youth at the Arsenal. So yeah, Cole Hiding goal. Cedric because he needs time. Jeff Cott, decent left back. Lino Sousa isn't applicable to play in the Europa, so I would have chose him. So we've had to go to Jeff Cott. Zach Orr, very good left back, left centre back. He is at the moment. He's doing really well. Rob Holding, Lakonga, Matt Smith, Fabio Vieira, Kozia Dubry on the left, Marquinhos on the right, and Eddie up front. So, what do you want to say about mine?
Wow. Okay. Do you know what? I like that. It's admirable. However, and I'm not going to say but because but means just disregard what I just said. I'll say however. I think it's going to be such an atmosphere at this ground. It's going to be something which maybe you would play one or two of those players.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put all of those players in one go because I think that's a little bit too. I think that's a little bit too. I'm not going to say taking a piss, but it probably be a little bit too much for those players. I mean, listen, the team is physical. They're going to be physical.
Yeah.
And it is going to be, one of those kind of atmospheres and one of those kind of games where the first 10 minutes, the crowd will be up for it. And if they do manage to score, it could be a long evening for us. So I'd rather kind of like start off with, I would say, have those players on the bench, but start off with a bit more of a experienced side. And I think what we do need to do is those players who are on the fringe, i.e., on the sub-speed bench week in, week out for the Premiership, they need to get minutes because they will be called upon. Although I do, I think that kind of team would be for maybe the Carling Cup, probably not for against Brighton, but if we beat Brighton, maybe hopefully we get a lesser team. But yeah, I it's admirable, but I do think we need a little bit more experience, especially away from home.
Yeah, my only theory is that Matt and Kozia Dubry has been with the first team for quite a while now. They've been training with them a lot. They were on the bench last week against Bodo. Matt's 22 now, so he's at that age where he's either going to make it or break it. Unfortunately. And he did have a good game against the Tottenham in the under whatever game they just recently played.
23 was out.
Yeah, and Kozia Dubry had a very good game as well. Zach Orr had a very good game. I'm kind of just like, because Arteta makes sure the under-21s and the under-18s all play his system, there's literally no reason for them not to be able to come in and go, okay, I know what I'm doing. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So I have probably, it's not that I have more faith than everybody else. It's just I see them more and I hear about them more. So I think like, okay, I think we all need to rest all our players, but we've got good enough quality to come in because they're there. They're at Arsenal Football Club. They wouldn't be there if they're not good enough. And that's how I've always looked at it. We've definitely signed some bad ones over the years where they're just not good enough. But we've had them. They've been around for a long time. They've obviously got a lot of. We lost one in the summer. Amari Hutchinson. That was a big shame for me personally. I was disappointed with him losing him. But what's his Taylor Hart? He's another one that should be having more opportunity, especially with Smith Rowe out injured.
I do think there's one I saw in pre-season. Real
Waters.
I like the look of him.
Yeah, he's actually a right back, but he was playing centre back when you saw him in pre-season.
I liked him. He was.
Yeah, he's not part of the Europa system again for some reason. I don't know why they didn't put his name down.
I'm really surprised because I thought he would have been pushing actually. But I really liked him. I thought he was decent.
Now, to be fair, right, I'll explain this one to people that don't know. I am a huge fan of the women's football as well. And
No,
Beth Mead
great.
is my number one. I would put
Yeah,
it,
listen.
I would, if they allowed it, I would literally say, Beth, you're in that team. Seriously, I think she's good enough. Leah,
Could you imagine?
I just
Oh
love
my
how
God.
much she loves Arsenal. Arsenal means everything to her. She was, one of the mascots, and she's just, I would literally have her in the
Fantastic.
team.
No,
I wouldn't have our goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper worries me in the women's, but yeah.
The women's game, I have to say, is coming up big time. And,
Yeah.
I've got a daughter who's playing, and listen, it's so good. The football I see them play, it's just, they play the game the right way. It's brilliant to watch.
Well, I want to quickly ask you, because I know you're down that area anyway, because my nan and granny used to live in Boreham Wood, and that's the reason. So when I was 14, they used to take us to go and watch the games because it's not far away from where they lived. So I don't know if it was the same for you. Have you always watched the women's game as well? Because Wenger was very pro women's football, making sure that we all supported them and stuff like that, and celebrated their titles.
Let me tell you, do you know? Oh, look, I'm going to show my age again. Flip's sake. All right, so I remember like years and years and years ago, right? There was one team, I think it was called the Doncaster Bells or something. Yeah.
They were the big challengers to us all the time, weren't they?
Marianne Spacey or something like that. She was like the Ronaldo kind of thing of the women's game back in, that's I remember starting to watch it, from there on, and then
internet issue.
Oh, you there still? Okay. Well, all I'm saying is that, I used to watch it from way back then, and it was great stuff, watching it. And then Arsenal kind of took over, with Vic Akers and stuff. And, they put a lot of time, money, and effort into it. And they started getting all the best players, and Arsenal were just like smashing it. So, I have to say, I've always been interested in it. It's not as physical, obviously, as the men's game. But and I think at the moment, what you're doing there and what you're seeing though is a lot of those kind of funny goals, which over time they will kind of because the quality will get better and better and better. You still sometimes see those kind of funny goals that you wouldn't really normally see in the Premiership, but the quality is getting better, and it's getting faster and more intense and technical as well. And do you know what the thing is? I'm watching all, so my daughter's 12 and she's playing now under 13s. She's now playing 11 aside, and I'm watching them playing and learning their kind of positions and stuff. And they're told to play a certain way, and it's great to watch. So the generations that are coming up, it's only going to get better and more entertaining.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely do. Might as well get Tony Adams on so he can fandango. Yeah, have you been watching him? Because I've just seen clips.
Do you know what? He's a legend for me, and I can't. Do you know what? I think when you go into Strictly, then I think your career for whatever you was doing or whatever, as a sports person, you can't do Strictly. You can't do Strictly. I mean, there's certain type of people definitely can't do. Boxers can't do Strictly. Footballers can't do Strictly. It would just totally ruin your cred.
Yeah. Right. Let's get back onto Bodo because we sidetracked so many times.
We digress.
Yeah. Right. What's your prediction? And you cannot walk around the roundabout, turn left, turn right, and try and lose me. You need to do a prediction this time. And guys in the comments, send in your predictions as well, please.
I'll go for a boring 1-0, but I think we'll probably do this one. It'll be a tight 2-1.
Yeah.
Or 1-1. But I don't think we'll lose. I think the way we are playing and stuff, and such is the mood around the camp and the whole club. I think that's all filtering down to all levels basically, and I think that Arteta now is commanding so much from the players, and he's getting it from everyone's buying into it, and everybody wants to be involved, and I think such will be the hunger of the players that play. They want to be part of it, and they'll put in a shift. So I don't think we'll lose it. It'll either be a 2-1 to us or 1-1.
Okay. Tony's going 3-1 to Arsenal, which is actually my score as well. He's going about Holding, Marquinhos, and Fab. Oh, Fabio Vieira. All right, got you.
Yeah.
Sorry, for some reason when I said Fab, I was like, Fabianski, is he? What? I'm like, what? Now it makes sense because I was saying was Fabio Vieira, but someone said Fab.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I'm like,
I remember.
Fabianski. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going for 3-1. I'm not going for Holding goal. I'm going to go with it's going to be 1-0 down at half time, and then we'll have to bring the changes, and then the big boys will come on. That's what I think will happen. I hope it's not, because that will depress me because I'm doing the watch along. But Moss is also going for 3-1. We're all doing the same, yeah. Eddie, Vieira,
I think Eddie,
Odegaard.
Eddie, yeah, and Odegaard.
I think there's always Odegaard to him.
Yeah. I think it would be good for Eddie to kind of. Do you know what? He's really impressing me. His whole professionalism as well, and I think working with someone like Gabriel Jesus is only going to benefit him. You know, in training, see the things that he does, see the runs that Jesus makes, see the way he battles. It's only going to rub off on him, and I think it will make Nketiah a much better player.
When do you think that might occur?
I think it's going to occur this season. I think it's occurring.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's occurring. There will come a time in the season. Hopefully, it won't be too critical, but Nketiah will have to start some Premiership games, and I'm hoping by then, by that time, he's he understands exactly what Jesus brings, and he will try and replicate that. You know, but obviously with Eddie flavour, the thing is, Eddie scores goals. He is that type of kid, and I think he would be a very good player this year. There's a couple of players who have gone up a level this year. Martinelli being one of them. Yeah. And I remember early in the season last year saying the same thing about Saka. I said he looks a different breed of player this year, Saka does, and I'm saying now the same thing about Martinelli. He's trusted, and he feels that from Arteta, and I think as well with Nketiah as well. The kid scores goals. You can't, you know, and even when he comes on a sub and stuff, he puts in a bloody shift, and he's an annoying. One of those annoying flies for, you know, defenders. You know, at the end of the game and everything, they just don't want anyone with pace going back and forth, doing those doggies, doing the hard yards, and he does that. And give him a chance, and he'll bury it.
Yeah. Moss updating us on the scores. The City are still drawing 0-0 with Copenhagen.
Haaland's on the bench, right?
Oh, is he? Is that where he is? Is he on the bench?
That's why they can't score.
Okay.
See,
Juventus,
no goals.
Juventus are losing against Maccabi.
Do you know what? I was watching that game actually, and I was doing a Vlahovic watch, and I was thinking that guy must be fuming. And do you know what? He did us a favor. So I'm a big Vlahovic fan. He's done us a favor, right, by going to Juve, because do you know what? We've got such a bargain with Jesus, because Vlahovic can't do what Jesus does in terms of with the ball, holding up the ball even and turning at defenders and, you know, jinking through them and stuff. Vlahovic can't do that. He's I'm not going to say he's a poor man's Haaland, but he's that type of player, but he's nowhere near as good as Haaland. Yeah. And I think that's probably why Arteta wanted him.
I've got 2 more questions before we wrap it up, because one's come up and I've just thought of one. So, do you think that it will be Balogun or Eddie next year for number 2? Because Balogun is smoking in League One.
Gosh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Do you know what? Whilst I was talking about Eddie, I'm not going to lie, I did forget about Balogun because he is away. Yeah, he's got a decision to make, hasn't he? Arteta and Balogun. Does he go out on loan again, or does he stick around?
Is your preference to keep Balogun if it meant Eddie had to leave.
Oh,
I know it's a tough one, but the problem is we've actually got another young striker that's doing very well as well. He's only played 60 minutes, scored 2 in Eredivisie, or the Dutch league. I'll never say the name properly. Mika Birev, who I'm a massive fan of. We spent £1 million on that kid.
Yeah,
and he's now, because he's also tall, so he adds something different to what we don't have in the.
He's about 6'4", isn't he, or something like that?
He's 19.
Yeah,
but so I'm just what we're not going to have 4 strikers on our roster. Well, we call it roster, but that's because
I think Arteta would want to keep Balogun. I would want to keep Balogun, but I think it totally depends on Balogun. I mean, again, I'm going to show my age again. I remember we had Alan Smith, Kevin Campbell, and a young Andy Cole.
Yeah,
and Andy Cole looked sharp, but wasn't really getting the chances because there was Kevin Campbell.
Yeah.
So Andy Cole was like, I should be playing. I want to play. George Graham was just like, no, you're not ready yet. All right, I want to go and loan. And he did. And then he never came back. And the rest, they say, is history, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just don't want that same kind of thing to happen to someone. There's a player in Balogun. It all depends, though. I'd need to see more of him. What's your take on it?
Balogun, I actually think is better than Eddie now.
Okay,
that's my opinion. I'm going to quickly add in what Moss is saying about Birev, that he probably needs next season. He probably needs to chat.
He does, to be fair. I think he is quite slim, isn't he? Yeah,
I think that would make perfect sense. But the good thing with Balogun and Eddie, they can both play on the left, so you can still have Jesus. So if he thinks like that, then he might keep both and go, okay, one game you're going to be playing on the left, but you'll be playing in the middle. So you'll both be playing, because Balogun and Eddie, and to be honest, Jesus could all play a front three. All 3 of them could.
True.
Because Jesus can play on the right.
Yeah.
Eddie can play in the middle. And Balogun can play on the left. So it's an interesting one. I hope he does think it through logically and go, okay, big game plan, because obviously, hopefully, we'll definitely be in Europe some form next year.
Some form.
Yeah.
Touchwood.
Exactly. We're not gonna say Tony's throwing in something else here. I think we'll sign another striker in the summer. We would need.
Ooh, do you know what? I think it totally depends on the season that Nketiah has.
Yeah.
If there's too much of a drop off when Jesus is not available, then I would see us getting a new striker. However, if Nketiah does well and he's scoring goals, why would you?
Yeah,
there's other places that need to be kind of bulked up before we go down the road of another striker.
Moss, you're going to hear this person's name a lot when Moss is in the chat. Jonathan David, Canadian, so obviously he picks him.
Quality player.
I don't think he's that good. I've watched him a lot because Moss gets me to watch him a lot. I don't think he's that good. I prefer the other one that's on the wing. I can't think of his name now for some reason. It's gone out of my head. They've got a winger that I think is actually better than Jonathan David. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
And then Tony's going with Tony. I get where he's going, but
I just don't think.
I don't think Champions League level.
No. True story with Jonathan David. Actually, let's come back from Dubai in February, and waiting in to get my luggage. There was problems. Just waiting for agents. Guy come along and he's wearing this, one of those kind of air boots that something's happened anyway. I said, just standing around and just got talking.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you do? I said, I'll do cybersecurity, blah, 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 blah. So I said, what do you do then? So he goes, I'm part of a consortium. We've taken over a football team. I said, okay. Why are you here? Then said, we're playing Chelsea in the Champions League. I'm thinking, who the fuck are Chelsea playing? And it was Lille. So they had just taken over Lille. So I was like, flip. So I was like, okay. So Jonathan David, where's he going? He says he ain't going nowhere yet. However, in the summer, the price is 60 million. He'll go, but and I think he was talking about they had a centre back. I think is he the one at Newcastle?
Yeah, Spotman. Yeah,
that's it. And he said that he'll be going as well. So he gave me two little. He got me 1 out of 2 anyway. But he said, their biggest one basically is Jonathan David, where they want 60 million for him. But obviously they won't get 60 million for him now. But yeah. So that was we had a good little chat about. I said, do can't you do a little cheap deal then for Arsenal? He was just like, we need the money. We're quite poor and we rely on Champions League and transfer money. So I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that is Lille's remit, unfortunately. Moss saying about the perfect fit for Jonathan David, got 7 goals. Yeah, I've watched him a lot, and I just don't think he'd work at Arsenal personally.
Yeah,
last question before we wrap.
Sorry, go.
No, go on. Reminds you of
who? He reminds me too much of Lacazette. And
yes,
and Lacazette didn't work in what we was playing. Yes, Solo.
Big up to Errol. Hope you're doing well, mate. So the last question before we wrap it up: the Martinelli rumours that have come out today about him demanding as much as Saka. Right? Do you think he's worth as much as Saka? Because the 200,000. Because I think he is. I think he's done just as much as Saka has. I think he's probably got a higher ceiling than Saka as well, because I think he's got more to his game. I think he could play striker as well. I don't think Saka's ever been able to do that. But I think Martinelli's going to have 2 positions that he can make his. So I think he is worth 200, because I think he's on in 7. I can probably find out actually very quickly. But
he can't be on that much right now. And when I saw this article come out that he wants to triple his wages right now probably must be on around 30 or 40 grand a week.
I'll find out.
So tripling his wages, yeah, why not? Do you know? I think the media come out with a sensational kind of like, headline. He wants to triple it. Fair enough. If Martinelli was on 150 a week and then it comes out he wants to triple his wages, then you're talking like, what the hell is he taking a mick? But he can't be on more than 40 or 50 k a week. Not to say only, but what I'm saying is that you triple. Okay, yeah, you would agree with that. You would say he's worth 100, 150, or 120 grand a week, right? Yeah. I wouldn't begrudge him that at all. So when you're talking, you need to just. I think people need to rein it in a bit with the title and the sensational kind of media kind of. It's just all clickbait. He wants to triple his wages. Yeah, listen, if he's on flipping 30k a week, of course he's gonna want triple to get 90k a week. Why wouldn't you? It makes sense. And that, to me, that would mean Arsenal getting a bloody good deal. Even 150k a week, I think he's worth that. And I think that's what will probably come. I think it would be between 120 and 150k. And that would be triple his wages. So for me, it when I saw that, I didn't even click it. I just thought triple. I said, yeah, but he's worth that. And it's not like he's on 100k a week right now, right? So
right. So how much do you think he's on?
Oh, flip. Okay.
Only because I have the ability to find out how much people are on. So,
I was going to say about 40 or 50k a week.
No, he's not.
What's he on?
90.
Fuck. Okay, so triple then is okay. That's big. Right. Let me just, can we kind of like just erase what I just said there? When did he sign that deal, for God's sake?
I'll see if I can find out the date he signed it.
Because
he's only got 2 years left on his deal. So
all right, so he came to us, didn't he, for 6 mil? He didn't have a 90k a week deal when he came to us.
No, he has signed a new one recently, hasn't he? I'll see if I can find his last.
Fuck, he's getting 90k. No wonder he's starting actually to play like a 90k a week player now.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say he's going to double his wages.
I think so. I think for me, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I still think if Saka's going to get 200, so Saka is on. Let's see what Saka is.
Saka's on less. Saka's got to be on less.
Yeah, Saka's on a heck of a lot less.
That's what, because I'm pretty sure that Saka's on like 30 or 40 or something like that.
Yeah, because it's like an apprentice wage, isn't it? They go up in stages when they're English players.
Listen,
but I think when you sign them from abroad, it's very different indeed.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I didn't know Martinelli was on that kind of wage, but hey, listen, look, Saka needs definitely to be on at least 180 plus. And do you know what? I would kind of disagree with you in certain respects where you said that Martinelli can play different, positions. Saka, when he first come into the scene, where did he play? He played left back.
Right wing.
Yeah, exactly. He played everywhere, and his versatility was something which Youngberg at the time, he was caretaker manager. He was just like, this kid can do everything. And do you know what? He's got one of those footballing brains. Do you remember I used to talk about Walcott, poor kid. But Saka's got this footballing brain where he's just a footballer, and it doesn't matter where you put him. He knows the position and knows exactly where he needs to be. And you can't. You can teach it, but sometimes there's certain players who are just kind of born with that mindset. Your Maldinis and those kind of players and stuff. He can play anywhere along the back. He can play anywhere apart from goalkeeper, Saka, or probably centre back or centre forward. But everywhere else on the pitch, you could stick him in, and he could do a job. And it will give you a solid 7. Not his position. He's definitely worth every penny. Whatever contract he gets. With Martinelli,
you're fine with the 200 if that is the reported.
Listen, I think that's the going rate for certain players, right? And the thing is, you got to remember, we got him for. All right, fair enough. You can't say you got him for free because obviously we've invested money in him in terms of the academy. We have spent money on him, but how much would Saka cost on the market right now? That would be 60, 70 million plus then a 25 million pound contract. Listen, man, his bargaining chips, Saka's bargaining chips right now are so high because he could just come out with those numbers and say, I'm worth what on the market? 60 million plus a 25 million pound contract. That's 85. He could easily say, I want that in wages. That's that 80 mil or whatever. He could actually say that but obviously he's not. And that's why we're getting him so cheap by giving him 200 grand a week.
Yeah.
To buy that type of, and the same thing with Martinelli. 6 million we got him for. Yeah. To buy that type of player now, again, look how Klopp talks about him. Look how everyone in the Premiership's talking about him. You call him now the next, new Suarez or whatever. Put him on the market tomorrow. You're talking 80 plus million. So if he does get 200k a week, fair play to him. He knows his market value.
I'll give you one more question, actually. Saliba, because obviously his contract is sorted as well. How much would you give Saliba? Now he's on the same wage as Holding, just so you know.
Oh, that must be about 60k? 40, flip's sake. Hey, you got to treble that, ain't you?
Yeah. Because
what he's doing right now, name me another defender in the world that's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. There's certain things he did against Liverpool that went unnoticed, but my word, he's just like, Diaz who? Just see you later, mate. Off you go.
If you look at it for our first goal, it was him again.
Yeah.
It looked like we was in trouble, but boom, he snuffed it out. Looked like we was in a little bit of trouble, but he snuffed it out, boom, and we was on the attack, and then the rest is history. Martinelli puts in the back of the net. That's come from what Saliba does. And again, I was just watching him. Yeah, listen, he's going to make mistakes. He's young. He's 2021.
Yeah.
Right. But what he's doing right now is beyond his years. And I'll be, barring injury, I'd be surprised if he doesn't start for the French national team in this year's World Cup.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
What he's doing right now, I keep watching him. He doesn't run, he doesn't gallop, he just glides across. Seriously, I think that there's only actually one time I saw him go into a sprint. Actually, I think it was in the first half against Liverpool, and I thought, frig's sake, I think he was up against Diaz, I think, but he's rapid. Absolutely, yeah. and doing what he does. How much would that player be on the market? And I think that's what players have to say to them, and how they come, with the value of what they want each week. How much would they be on the market? How much would it cost them to replace me? And that's where they start, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, we've spoken way more than just about Bodo.
No,
we've gone quite in depth about other subjects as well, which has been quite nice. It's great to talk to you, Canners. Big up to everyone in the chat. But yes, I will be back on. I think there might be a show tomorrow. I'm not sure. Is there a show tomorrow? I can't remember if Tony announced a show tomorrow.
I think it was Thursday and then Friday.
Thursday. Oh yeah, match reaction to that one. So I'll be on the watch along Thursday evening, and there'll be loads coming. It's this big weekend, Leeds, guys.
That's
we're
a big
definitely
game
out of here.
Because it's going to be we'll do the preview, but the thing is, that's going to be such an atmosphere at that place, and so it'll be another test for our players. So we're going to have 2 tough away games this week, and starting off, we can't, I think wrongly last week we kind of looked forward to the Liverpool game and discounted the Bodo game, but really I think we've got 2 tough games this week, and it really will test our squad this week. It's a tough week.
But we'll leave it with, come on, you Gunners. Let's get a win Thursday. Take care, Canners. Take care, everyone. See you later.